'cause I've never been so sure of anything before. Just like I'm in this moment, but once alone would be enough. Just take my hands and take my ring, 'cause I will always love you through anything I'll do. To talk about different segment, for the engaging and Tope Oginni, Let's talk about love. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about all you need to know before you say I do.
Good evening, all, and you are welcome to another exciting episode of Before You Say I Do on Glorious Vision Television of the Apostolic Church, Nigeria. My name still remains Tope Oginni. How was your week? I guess your week was fine. Mine was beautiful and interesting. Yeah, Before You Say I Do is a program that is designed for the singles and those who are not quite ready for a relationship, those who are already in a relationship and about to start a relationship. It's a program that we designed for already engaged, already in a courtship, whichever category you fall into. This program is designed to help you to have a beautiful and lovely relationship. Before You Say I Do, we also help you to prepare ahead of the marital journey that you're about to take. We also help you to discover who you are and discover who your partner is. We help you a lot on Before You Say I Do because it is majorly designed for the singles. We help you to know about yourself, about your partner, and the relationship that you are about to enter into. We also help you to seek to address issues as it's affecting relationship that will lead to marriages. On Before You Say I Do, we also address real life issues that relationships face on a daily basis. We have different segments on Before You Say I Do. We also provide useful and helpful relationship tips that help you to have a blossom and healthy relationship. Also, at the end, we also have a recommended book that we usually recommend for our singles that will also help you know more about what you need to know about yourself and the relationship that you are into. Perhaps right now you are facing some real life issues in your relationship that you need to get an answer to. Do you have a question that you need an answer to? We always encourage on this program that you send in your issues, your questions to that WhatsApp number that is scrolling right now on your screen, and we will always be available, we will always be ready, we will always be happy and excited to answer all your questions to make you have a stronger and healthy relationship. Right now, quickly, like I said in the opening, that we usually provide relationship tips on this program. I want to go to the relationship tips for this week's episode of Before You Say I Do, which I titled Tips on Ways to Be More Understanding in a Relationship. Do you agree with me that understanding is very, very important generally in every area of our life, more or less of a relationship? Now, I want to give you some tips because I know that there are some singles out there that are having issues, that are having problems understanding their partners, and that's why I've come up with these tips to help you. There's a reason why understanding is one of the top qualities of a good partner in a relationship. Aside from the fact that these traits allow your partner to be who they want to be without the fear of being judged, it lets you see things from other people's perspective. Are you struggling to know how to be more understanding with your partner in a relationship right now? I'm telling you, these tips will help you to recognize, to appreciate, and practice these very important characteristics in your relationship. Now, look at this. You need to take time to get to know your partner better. You need to take time to get to know your partner better before start criticizing him or judging him about his characters. The challenge of trying to understand another person lies in one's inability to actually see them not just as a partner, but also as a human being. I want you to know that whoever you are in relationship with, firstly, you must know that that person is a human being and capable of different feelings and emotions. So it is possible to truly learn how to understand someone if you don't know their strengths and their weaknesses. So you need to know the strengths and the weaknesses of your partner. Another one is beware of your own feelings and motivations. Learning how to understand another person can be very, very difficult. Yes, it can be very, very difficult to learn to understand the character, the traits in another person. If you don't even understand yourself, so you too, you need to understand yourself. That's why I said in the opening of this program that before you say I do, we also help you to know who you are, to recognize yourself, then to know your partner. So you need to know who you are. What are your own strengths? What are your own weaknesses? What are the things that your strengths can complement with the other person? What are the things that your weaknesses can complement with the other person? So how well do you know yourself? Do you even know yourself? How much of yourself do you know? What is it that you can really say about yourself? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are those things that really turns you off when you are in a relationship? What are the things that make you happy and sad or angry? How do these feelings motivate you? How do they help you to make decisions? They are very, very important. You need to know that about yourself. Never impose your own ideals and beliefs on your partner. Very, very important. No matter how much you think that you are better than your partner, in terms of experience, maturity, even in intellect, never impose your own ideals on anybody. Why? Doing so will only leave you blind and unaware of how they truly feel, because most times you are always imposing your feelings, imposing your ideals, imposing your beliefs on your partner. So this cannot allow you to really know who that person is. So don't you ever make that mistake of imposing, because we have some people in relationship, that's what they do most. They want their partner to be like them. They want to impose whatever they like, whatever they are, whoever. No. It cannot work that way. You have to learn to, first of all, understand who that person is and see if it can complement who you are. If you want to be if you want to be an understanding partner in a relationship, you should realize that respecting your partner's own convictions and accepting their beliefs as a part of who they are. Yes, you must learn to respect their own belief and accept their own beliefs as well. That will help you to have an healthy and blossom and understanding relationship. Respect your partner's need as a social being. Let your partner go out with their friends or spend time with their family. Because you are in a relationship with someone should not stop them from continuous relationship with their friends or their families. You need to understand who your partner is. Is it the kind of person that is so attached to his families or friends? If that's that kind of a person, it will be very difficult for you to detach that person from his friends and his family. So you need to understand. If you refuse to understand that area of that person's life, then it keeps on giving you problems. There are bound to be conflicts, continuous, consistent conflicts in that relationship, because you have just failed to understand who that person is in that area of his life. That this is the kind of a person that is attached to his friends and families. Yes. Most importantly, let them pursue their personal goal and encourage them to go into the world and reach their greatest dreams. Your partner has a goal or goals. They have dreams. Please assist them and encourage them, because they are in relationship with you does not mean that you have to kill their dreams and kill their goals because of that relationship. You should understand what their goals are, what their dreams are, ever before meeting you. All you need to do for you to have a blossom and healthy relationship is for you to understand those goals and those dreams and help them and encourage them as they move ahead with achieving those goals and those dreams. And those dreams, very, very importantly, remember that you are not always right. You know, we have people that they are always right. No matter what you say, they are always right. They don't accept their other people's, they don't respect or they don't accept other people's opinions when it comes to issues or when it comes to some topics. They always want to have their way in everything. You are not always right, my dear. And most of the time, trying to prove your views, ideas, and judgments are more acceptable and can hurt your partner. He or she may not talk, may not say anything, may not argue with you, but is not happy that most of the time you always want to have your way, and you think that you're always right in every decision, in every choices, in every issues. No, you need to understand. Can hurt your partner more and can even lead to an argument instead of a resolution. I don't know, maybe you are in a relationship right now and you have experienced this, that most of the times that you want to have your way, you always want to be the one that is right. You don't want to listen to your partner. You don't want to accept his own opinions, his own beliefs. You feel that you know it, or you might have discovered that it doesn't lead to anything good but arguments and quarrels. So it's better you avoid that. Finally, give your partner time to explain before reacting. We have that attitude. You don't give him time to explain in his or herself. You just want to have it all. Please always give them time. When there are issues, give them time to explain before reacting. That will be all on this week's edition of Relationship Tips. I want to quickly go on a break right now. By the time I return, the program still continues. Please don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, the program is still Before You Say I Do on Glorious Vision Television of the Apostolic Church Nigeria, the only relationship program on Glorious Vision Television. Yes, before I went on that break, I said by the time I return that I will introduce the topic of discussion and my guest. You know, on Before You Say I Do, we have this tradition of bringing to you interesting topics, various topics, as it is relating to your relationship, that will help you to have a blossom and interesting, healthy, that will help you to enjoy your relationships. We bring topics that help you to remove fears of you are having in your relationship. And today, on today's program, is not an exception. I also have a beautiful topic that you will really enjoy. But before I introduce my topic, let me quickly let you know that I'm not the only one in the studio. I have a guest who is going to join me in discussing and providing insight into the topic of our discussion for this week's episode. So I want my lovely viewers, my beautiful singles out there, to join me as I introduce to you and I welcome to the program my lovely Titoluwa Olumideke.
Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a privilege to have you on our program.
It's an honor to be here.
That's good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now let me just give you a brief profile about Titoluwa. Titoluwa is a graduate of the University of Ibadan and Lagos for her first degree and master's. She's an author, a writer, a counselor, and HR professional. She is also an administrator of the Sister Org Group, an online hub for women where they can learn. So my sisters that you are watching me, you can go out and check on the internet for our online program to learn more as a lady. Everything a woman needs to know is what she talks about on that platform. So please, you can check out for her on that online program. She is also a publisher. In fact, she just published a novel, which happens to be her first novel for that matter. Congratulations once again on that.
Thank you so much.
And I have a copy of that of that book. It's very, very interesting. I even gave it to my daughter to read. You know, it's an inspiring and encouraging book that everyone should get. I hope I'm not doing that for you.
Thank you so much.
So she's a publisher of a novel. The title of the novel is Cascading Waters. Is that it?
Yes.
Cascading Waters, which happens to be her first novel. You know, for somebody to have gone this length, you should know that she has a lot bottled up in her. She has a lot to teach. She has a lot for people to learn from. And that's why I also want my viewers, my singles, to tap into a wealth of experience and knowledge.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. So now let's quickly go to our topic of discussion. What are we discussing today? I'm sure somebody out there will be wondering. Well, our topic of discussion is know your partner. Know your partner. How well do you know your partner? What are those things that you know about your partner? Well, we are not going to be going into everything that you know into your partner, but we just want you to know there's one area that is very, very important in a relationship that you need to know about your partner, that we know that as always in the time past causing issues, and that is temperament. This temperament has caused a lot of issues and breakups in relationships, has made a lot of people to lose out on the good ones out there, because by the time they exhibit one trait or the other, and the other partner feels that, oh, this is too much for me to cope or to manage, the person just step aside. So we want to talk about knowing your partner's temperament rather. Now let me quickly go to the introduction. Temperament is the way you tend to behave or types of emotions you tend to exhibit. Knowledge of the temperament of your partner, can you get that, will help you to understand the motives of his behavior. So when you understand the temperament of your partner, it will help you to understand the motives. You know, many people are very fond of accusing their partners without understanding the kind of temperament they carry. You know, they are quick to judge them, they are quick to criticize them. But by the time, I believe that, I know you are going to talk more about, but by the time you understand the temperament of that person, then you know the motives. You know that it's not that she's being wicked, she's being stupid, or she doesn't like you. Yes. So, and it will help you to choose the right tactics. It will also help you. The reason why we are bringing these topics is for you to know the temperament of your partner, and also to help you to know the right tactics for communication. By the time you know his temperament and you know the right communication style, then you will understand. Then you will enjoy your relationship. So now to you, what is temperament?
Temperament is is a series of behavioral attributes that a person exhibits. Usually it is caused by your genetics, what you inherit from your parents. So that's what it is basically. There are 4 different types of temperament largely. There's the choleric, melancholy, phlegmatic, and sanguine. So to divide it into 2, there's the introverted side, and there is the extroverted side of temperament. For the extrovert, those are the cholerics and the sanguine. For the introvert, that's the melancholy and the phlegmatic. Those are the 2. So that's what temperament is. What you actually is inherited. So for me as a person, I like to use myself as an example. A mixture of 3 temperaments: choleric, sanguine, and melancholy. And choleric, my mom. Sanguine, my dad. Then melancholy, both of them.
So are you telling us now that for every traits or characters that anybody exhibits out there's this touch of that gene in it?
Yes, basically your genetics literally define you, you know, at least for the major part of your childhood. And if you do not want to take responsibility for it till you die, your genetics or your pathology is very strong in what makes you as a person. So temperaments are gotten. There's hardly someone that you will see and you will not be able to say, oh, this person is choleric like the person's dad or like the person's mom. It comes directly from those 2 people, or hardly goes to maybe the grandparent, but it's usually, then there's the dominant and the recessive. So the dominant is the one that is everybody can see, the one that is strong. So, oh, this person is sanguine, but the person can even have a phlegmatic side that is recessive. But because the sanguine is extroverted, that's what everybody can see. You can feel that vibe immediately you come in contact with that person. They can just say, oh, this person is sanguine. But there are 2 different ways to look at it. You can look at it from
can it be gotten from outside the parents?
That would now inform your personality. Your personality is what informs your what is informed by your environment, your social standing. That's the difference between temperament and personality.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. So, is temperament an important factor in selecting a partner?
Well, yes. I would say understanding temperament is an important factor. I won't really say, because there are no temperaments that can mingle. There's no temperament basically. A choleric can marry a sanguine. You know, so because a choleric is a driven person, wants to achieve this, usually the way God made it, there's no one with one temperament. There's hardly anybody with one. You can have one dominant one, but you probably have 2 recessive ones. Yes. There are different tests online where you can take in case you don't know your temperament as a person, because you need to know. So once you understand that there's no one, you know, I just need to understand the peculiarities of this person. I know that I'm choleric. if I want to marry a choleric, that means both of us are strong-headed. Both of us are going to be
choleric.
Yes, if I want to marry a choleric,
okay.
I'll probably be attracted to a choleric because of the driven nature. Because I'm driven,
okay.
They are go-getters.
Okay.
You will be someone that is phlegmatic. It will take another way for you to be attracted to that person. Okay. It won't be because to you as a choleric, you'll be looking at this person is slow. This person is not fast. What's wrong with this person? You know, and the phlegmatic person too is looking at you as, what's wrong with this person? Why is she always talking? Why is she always pushing me to do something? Exactly. So there are strengths and weaknesses of each temperament.
Okay.
As a mature person, you want to always portray the strength and work on the weakness. Okay. So for a choleric person, if a choleric person wants to move this table there, a choleric person doesn't care to insult, as long as the table gets there. Doesn't care who feels offended, doesn't care. But a sanguine can play with you to the point where you will move it without him asking. A melancholy will just be moody and move it himself. That's a melancholy. We will not ask you to do it. Okay. But a phleg will move it for you. Okay. So those are the ways you can look at it. And
so what you're saying now is that that shouldn't be a factor, because
it's not a major factor. Everyone should understand. Yes.
And you should understand it.
Yes.
Okay. So why is it important for somebody to know one's partner's temperament?
That means you're knowing your partner, basically. If you know your partner's temperament, you are knowing your partner. And we should all endeavor to know our partners, because that's the person I hope that you intend to spend the rest of your life with. So if you intend to spend the rest of your life, and even the one you're already living now, if you intend to spend it, then you must know you want to know your friends, temperament. You want to know your parents' temperament, because sometimes it helps you not to judge them, it helps you to read. You want to know your boss's temperament. You want to know your colleague's temperament. Just generally, it helps you to have a certain expectation. Okay, I know I can't expect this person to do this, and in that sense, I'm not disappointed by the person, because I don't even expect him to do that. So it's important to know your partner's one, because it helps you to know, okay, this is the way I'm going to relate to this person. This is the way I'm going to treat this person. I have to understand where this person is coming from. So a melancholic person sometimes they have a social side, but then they also have to go back. So a melancholic person can come for the party, smile, laugh, but he has to go back inside to recharge. That's a melancholic person. Okay. He has to go back inside. He can't stay outside for that long. That's a melancholic person. But it's sanguine, and the person can be there for from beginning to the end, make everybody laugh, dance, all those things. That's a sanguine. So I don't have to be envious of my partner. I just know, bye, I'm going inside, because we've accepted ourselves. Okay. So my sanguine boyfriend shouldn't be fighting with me that I'm not at a party when I'm melancholy. If he understands that, I'm melancholy, he won't fight with me. He won't fight. He will say, he won't even be defending me that she has gone inside, she needs to rest. So that's where the understanding, because we all need to understand. And the Bible says that wisdom is a profitable thing, and in all that is a principal thing, and in all that I get understanding. So it's not for you to only know, it's to understand.
Okay, if it is this easy to know and understand, then why is it difficult? Why is it still difficult for so many people in relationship to understand that this is who this person is? This is a melancholic person. This is phlegmatic person. This is choleric person, and you still go ahead and
I think is
it just okay?
There's not so much awareness
exactly
on it. There's not so much awareness. Even when there's still a lot of work to because you're coming from a background. I'm coming from a background where I've been choleric all my life, and I want to get into a relationship with a phlegmatic, and I have to think, okay, so how do I adjust? How do I still love this person? How do I understand this person? How can we work in harmony? Constant talk, constant, fights, disagreements. You come back together. Okay, what went wrong? What did I do? You study, research, all these things. The Bible says, Daniel said, I, Daniel, learned by the books. So sometimes as well, we also don't read. So if you want to get a degree in 4 years, you read, you do exams. So why would you want to get into a marriage without reading? Without studying, without research? Why do you think? Degree that I probably won't even use. I'm reading, I'm studying, I have to pass my exams. There are so many
tough
times.
But you agree with me that most of the singles out there, most of them are not reading.
They're not reading, or they're not reading what they should basically.
Okay.
They're not reading what they should. And there's not so much on the temperament. I remember when my boyfriend and I were going to start dating, and I discovered I already knew that I'm choleric and I'm sanguine. I thought it was phlegmatic, primarily. So it was okay for me to say, okay, it's an easy match. Until I discovered that it's actually melancholy, which is a very strong personality as well. Okay. So I had to, initially it was like, is this going to work? But through counsel and through studying, research, we were able to begin to build, I understand, there are times when I have to compromise, there are times when I have to compromise over time. But when you don't have the basic knowledge, you just be angry. Just be angry, unnecessarily, and it will just worsen the issue. So, but I think there should be more awareness on the temperament thing, especially in the faith. It's not every time that, pray for him. Sometimes all you just need to do is understand the person. All you just need to do is accept the person. It doesn't really mean to pray. Sometimes when we pray for the other person, we expect God to work on the other person. While sometimes God is working on you. He can just bring you, you see a post on social media, you're scrolling, you just see something and it answers your question. So sometimes it's not just, let's just pray together. Yes, fine, that's like the bedrock of the relationship. But then again, you need to understand, you need to research, how do I build a relationship?
That's a good one, Tito. I like that you just need to understand your partner. It's not about trying to use that as a factor, because like you said, that all these 4 types of temperaments, that it is found in each and every one of us.
Yes.
So all we need to know is to know who you are, know who your partner is, then you'll be able to manage or relate. Okay, now, how does temperament differ from personality?
Okay, I said that before. Personality is what is affected by, or the behaviors and the characters you exhibit because of your environment.
Okay.
But temperament is genetically gotten.
Okay.
My mom is choleric. My dad is sanguine, is phlegmatic. So I have bits and pieces of them in me. Of course, I have my own personality, which, because I didn't grow up in their time, I have my own personality.
Okay.
I have my own, the way I view that probably differs from both of them. But I have their temperament. Okay. So sometimes I say something and my mom says, that's me, or I behave somewhere and my dad says, that's me, So it's both ways. That's a major difference, but they work hand in hand, And then I would like to say something, understanding that, because even some people that understand their temperament, they tend to excuse bad behavior because, I'm choleric, I can talk to anybody anyhow as long as I get no. I'm a sanguine, I'm very disorganized, it's because I'm a sanguine. No. Jesus, you have to look at Jesus, because as Christians, at the end of the day, we have to portray Jesus. He exhibited all 4 of the temperament. He was melancholic, he was choleric when he sends them out of the synagogue. He was phlegmatic when he put himself to die on the cross. He was sanguine when he parted with sinners. So he had all the 4 temperaments, but you never saw the weak side. So with the Holy Spirit can help you in such a way that you do not exhibit so much. Of course, you are a human being. You can't remove that, but it helps you to keep that weak side in check. So you shouldn't be excusing your bad behavior on, I'm choleric. No.
And because of that makes you think that you can't work on it.
No, you can always work on, the more you understand yourself, I need to work. Maybe you exhibit something here. This can happen the next time. What can I do to change? What was the trigger?
That will help you to enjoy your relationship.
Yes. And self-analysis, because a lot of people, when they are single, their goal is, I want to get into a relationship. I'm not saying you should not get into a relationship. I'm just saying that you need to also understand that it's time for you to understand yourself. Know that, okay, this kind of thing will trigger me to show my weak side. This kind of thing will affect me, all this kind of thing. So it's very important to use your single period to know yourself. Okay. Because when you get into your relationship, you are knowing yourself and the partner. But at the time when you're single, all you have is yourself. Study yourself, analyze yourself, know yourself. Then you'll be able to even know what you like, know what you can stand, and on and on.
Yes. The topic is really getting interesting and exciting, and I believe that my viewers out there, my singles, my lovely singles out there that are watching us, I know that you are really enjoying our topic of discussion and you are learning one or more from our discussion. I want to quickly go on a break right now. When I come back, please don't go anywhere. The program still continues. Stay tuned. So before you say I do on Glorious Vision Television of the Apostolic Church Nigeria, and our topic of discussion is still know your partner's temperament, and my guest is still Titoluwa, that she's been doing justice to this topic of discussion. In case you are just joining, you are joining in a good time, and I'm sure you don't want to miss anything. Please just sit down and go along with us. Like we always advise, don't forget, if you have any comments on our previous topics or on our topic of discussion for today, please don't hesitate to send your comments, your questions, your messages on our WhatsApp number that is scrolling on your screen. Yeah, back to Tito. Yes, what role does temperament play in relationships?
Okay, that's basically asking what role does your partner play in the relationship, because temperament is what will drive a person to behave a certain way, talk a certain way. Of course, it's a marriage between temperament and character, but that's basically what is going to push someone to handle this thing like this. The way a choleric is going to handle maybe a conflict is different from the way a melancholy is going to handle, is different from the way a sanguine. So there are different ways to look at, but it plays a very crucial role. It's what determines what causes the fights.
Okay.
What determines how this person understands an issue.
Okay.
So if you want to, there are certain words that will probably trigger a choleric person. So maybe if you say you're wrong or you didn't do that well, you are pushing it up. You can communicate the same thing in another way, but if you don't know that this is this person's temperament, this is where I can talk to this person, you won't know. It also drives communication. So the different kind of communication is the soul of a relationship, basically. Yes. So you understand very, very where, you understand where, oh, this person is coming from. You say, oh, this person communicates like this or talks like this. All those things are very important when you understand temperament. So temperament plays a major role in a relationship, because you want to know that, okay, instead of you to judge that why is this talking to me like this, you understand where it's coming from. Fine, you may not like it, but there are ways you first understand it. It's better for you to just go head on against something if you don't understand it. When you understand it, you are able to even offer solutions.
Thank you.
Instead of just say, I don't like it, but oh, I understand that you're coming from a place, your choleric nature, but I think I would like it if you address it this way and that way.
To interject, I want to believe that it is lack of understanding our partner's temperament that makes a whole lot of people to have issues in their relationship, and that makes some people to keep having constant breakups. Because when you say Tito is bad, you left her, you met another person, because you said something that is very, very important, and I like. You said this thing is a nurse. When something is genetic, it's like we are born with it, and it's something that you have to live with. But the only solution is just working on like it. You said, that you don't say because I'm like this and you use that to excuse
bad behavior.
Good. So I just want to believe that if we can, like you keep saying, that if we can just understand these areas of our life, then we'll be able to have a whole lot of stable relationships.
Yes.
Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, I do. I do. It makes a lot of difference when you understand another person, understand their journey, understand their history. That's why courtship is the time for you to actually ask a lot of questions, because, and it's not to judge, it's to just understand that, oh, this person probably has been cheated or has been jilted before, and that's where the fear of jilting is coming from, and that's why this person is always very, trying to be territorial or possessive. It's a journey. How did you get there? Okay, so now that I understand the journey, I can even prefer proper solution. I'm not going to say, oh, because I understand it, let me just leave the person like that. No, I'm going to prefer solutions that are usable, solutions that work well. That has nothing to do with the God's instructions or God's expectation of us has nothing to do with our temperament. When he said go into the world, he didn't say cholerics go into the world or melancholy go. Everybody, you understand? So we all have to make sure that as much as the relationship with God is personal. How we exhibit it, even in every sphere, and including our relationship matters. So when you're talking, Bible says a soft answer turneth away wrath. It did not say, oh, a choleric cannot give a soft answer. So if you're a choleric, because you're naturally not inclined to give soft answers, you have to, what the Bible says, a soft answer turns away wrath. So how do I train myself in such a way that I can give soft answers even in situations that trigger me?
As you are talking, something came to my mind, although you've already talked about it, but I just want to, can these traits, can they be changed? I know they can't, but they can be worked upon. They can be worked on.
They can be maintained. They can be. It's not a bad thing because they are strengths. So if there are two cholerics in a marriage or in a relationship, and they focus on their strength.
I'm going to interject again because it says strength. You know what came to my mind again? That yes, they are strength, because if you are the reserved type and you are married to an outgoing person, it complements.
It complements. Their marriage is supposed to complement you.
So they are not just bad things.
Not complete you, but complement.
That's what I said. That means they have a way of I was going to say something. That means that they have a way to of balancing it, or assisting you.
Yes. So where I'm weak, this person is strong. Where I'm strong, this person is weak. Even if both of you have the same, maybe dominance, you can't always have the same makeup.
You know, we have situations of people that are married. The wife will be, maybe the husband will be the reserved type who doesn't talk, and the wife will be outgoing. So when you want to say, like, you insult the husband, the wife is always there to defend.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So there are things like that. There are situations like that where it always balances. It always balances, especially when you understand each other and you allow each other shine.
And when you are in a relationship, maybe you know that some people that you just have to push them to get their goals. So if you
most likely phlegmatic.
Okay, so if you have the other side who is very pushy, who is very who knows how to motivate people to get their dreams, so it complements.
Yeah, exactly. So a phlegmatic now may not even like you. Most phlegmatics are stubborn. Okay. You know, that's a side of it. They are the best people you want to have on your team because they are very, once they set their mind on something, they will help you achieve their team players, but they are stubborn. Once they set their mind on something, you can't change it. So for a choleric, instead of you to say, why can't you do it like that? Why can't you do it like that?
Let me ask, like we've been talking now. So can you just be on the lookout for the kind of temperament person that you want? Like, okay, I discovered that I'm a phlegmatic person and I want to go out on the lookout for a choleric.
No, you actually can't do that. Okay. But once you have, some people can do it. Some people, I want a tall, dark, you know, that kind of thing. You really can't even really ask, basically. You just can observe. Oh, this person is a choleric and all that. But me, I didn't want to smell anybody that was choleric near me. Like, because I already know that I'm choleric.
It's because you
I understood myself. Yes. Yeah. So, but over time, I discovered that my boy, he has choleric nature in the person I'm dating. And he has the choleric nature. How did I now learn? It was over time. We had to learn it. You can't tell God what you want. He knows basically what fits your future and what you can handle, you know. So he will give it to you.
So based how does temperament affect relationship?
We've literally talked about it. It's
as in basically maybe on the negative side.
Oh, on the negative side, that's if they don't understand each other. If they keep, somebody says, I think it was Pastor Ezekiel Atang, that one of the things you can do to damage your relationship most majorly is to show your partner your unregenerated self. That's the part of you that is not trained, is unrefined, doesn't have the Holy Spirit. That part of you can use to destroy any relationship. So if two people are only focused on, I want my own way in this relationship, this person must serve me, what I say is correct, I can never be wrong, I don't apologize. If that's how you are, or this is how I am, or I cannot change because of anybody, if that's how you are as a person, the relationship ended the day it started. There's no that you must learn. Yeah, you must learn to compromise and to develop yourself.
Thank you so much. So how can we combine the temperament of parties in a relationship? Can it be combined?
Yeah, there are certain suggestions. So for instance, a choleric would do well if person is dating like a phlegmatic. A phlegmatic probably want a choleric.
I want you to break down those big words because to some people watching out there, they may not understand this. So what's an example of a phlegmatic or
choleric and all that? Okay, so a phlegmatic is So let me
that
start. Choleric.
That will help somebody watching us to understand his or herself.
Okay, so a choleric is a driven person. Those are the people that once they have a goal, they will achieve their goal. They are not stopped by anything. They are moved. But the other side is they don't care how these goals are achieved. Naturally, that's kind of person. They are very controlling. They can be easily prone to anger. That's a choleric. Now, a sanguine, life of the party. They usually like loud colors. They are very playful, but the downside, they are disorganized. They are easily forgetful. They don't remember. You really can't put them on a job and expect them to, deliver the way a choleric will deliver. A melancholic, usually those people are very artistic because those are people that write, draw, all those things. They like to be by themselves. They like to do things by themselves. They are not the kind of people you can control because they want their space. They are not easily sociable.
Okay.
The downside is they are easily depressed. They are moody. They are not someone you want to relate with. They don't talk a lot. They don't have a lot of friends. Okay. Then a phlegmatic, that's a team player. That's somebody that is understanding. Usually the quiet one, doesn't really like to fight. Is not confrontational. The downside is they are very stubborn. As quiet and meek, they are very stubborn. I have my best friend is phlegmatic. They are very stubborn. They are very stubborn, and then they don't really go after things the way we go after it. Then they don't really like change. A phlegmatic can use one car for 20 years. That's kind of wear one shoe for 10 years. That kind of thing. A phlegmatic, strong phlegmatic, they don't like change.
You know what? That means if you're in a relationship with someone, you just discover that why is it that this guy or this lady is always on this chat?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's a phlegmatic. So you can get them to change, but you have to come from a place of love. You have to come from a place of understanding that okay, I understand. There are ways. There are ways. And then over time, they know that they can trust. Even if they do it for you, at least you get them to change. So
you are saying that there are ways that we can get them to change.
Yes.
You don't have to run away from them. If you discover that, oh, this is this person's temperament, if it's something, we won't say, because I don't always like to use the word change. I've read it, we work on it. We believe that nobody can change anybody except God.
Yeah.
Good. So we say we work. And that work is through the communication that you've talked about. You keep talking. Okay.
Yes, communication is very important in a relationship because even any kind of relationship, whether it is boss to employee, whether it's colleague to colleague, friends, very important because first of all, it does away with all the assumptions, and they say assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. So you always don't want to assume, you want to know. How do you know? By asking and by, okay, so when you did it, oh, this what happened, oh, okay, all this that happens with communication, and it's very encouraged, especially in a relationship that is just growing. Always talk, never ever douse the power of communication. It's very important. So
how can one have healthy relationship with someone who has opposite temperament? And again, I want to ask again, can you have the same? Okay, when you were talking, you said when you were analyzing all the temperaments, you said it too, that you have one or more. That is not just one. That a person
usually compound.
That you can have compound of them in you. Good. Now, how can somebody now, when you discover that this is an opposite of my own, I'm a choleric person now, and I happens to meet a phlegmatic person, there are two opposite sides now.
Opposites.
How do we?
Usually opposites attract. That's one of the things. Opposites are usually attract.
Because most times what singles out there always look for is they want to have somebody like them. Oh, I'm social, I'm nice, I'm good, I'm this, and somebody will be looking out there for somebody like him or her.
Usually you don't even get what you want at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it may be like that outside.
Oh, I'm generous, like I'm this,
If they bring the balance, always look at relationship as well. You want to bring both a balance front because you don't want both of you to have the same strengths and the same weaknesses. At the end of the day, even if you have the same temperaments, you will still probably have different personalities. You have different characters. You exhibit that temperament in different ways. So there's going to be different. Before you find someone that does things like you, it's not even possible. So, however, if you find someone that is opposite, you want to look at, okay, how does this person complement me? Where am I weak that this person is strong? Where is this person weak? Is this person willing to allow me to be strong where I'm strong? Am I willing to allow this person to be strong where he's strong? So, okay, so because this person I don't like dancing. Am I embarrassed when this person is dancing? Or me, I'm happy that, oh, you dance for the whole family. I'm not even willing to dance, So you want to look at it,
I want you to talk more on this area that you have, because you know we keep saying and talking. People will always want somebody like them. Like you said, I don't like dancing. You go to a party with your partner and you don't like dancing, and you sit down and be watching, and you like come to you and say everybody is dancing, come and dance. He wants to force you to dance.
That's wrong.
He wants to impose his ideals and
that's wrong. You don't impose your ideals, especially when it has to do with the person's personality or the person's temperament, his character. You should understand. Okay. You know, you can dance and laugh. Oh, yeah, are you okay? I'm going to dance. So both of you should understand each other. I'm happy when my partner is exhibiting his places of strength. I step back. I let him exhibit. When I'm also exhibiting my own areas of strength, he steps back. He lets me exhibit. Like that, both of us like each other, because it helps us to be secure in ourselves. That, I like when this person is around. He lets me be me. One of the best things you can do for anyone is to let them be themselves.
You know, you've really explained, you've really discussed at length on this particular topic, and you've really given us insight. And I know that my singles out there really enjoyed this topic, and they're able to know that there's need for them to understand each other's temperament. It's very, very important. It's not about criticizing, judging the person, condemning. Okay, let me just quickly say something. When I used to be, I don't know, maybe I'm still, because when I say it to some people, they say you are not quiet. I believe I used to be the reserved type. Yeah. So when I newly got married, what I do is, I don't say my in-laws should not come visiting. But when they come, I go to the kitchen, I make the meal for them. After that, the next thing I do is to enter into the bedroom and sit down. So even if they are going to spend like 2-3 days in my house, I'm used to that kind of life that, I make them comfortable. But it's just this act of sitting and be gisting with them. I don't do that. Thank God for the kind of husband, like you said, that he understood who I am. So when they say, Uncle, this your wife, she is proud, she doesn't relate with us, or she feels that we are not, she now say, that's who she is. Go inside and you will see her reading, and I like reading too, yes. So once I go inside, especially when there is no light, I'll just pick novels or books and be reading. And if there is light, you see me inside the bedroom watching movie. I like watching movies. But then they don't understand. Thank God for the kind of husband who was able to explain to them that no, she's not, she doesn't want two people around her. After all, when you come in, she welcomes you, prepare your meals and all, but that's just who. So now, what's your advice for people who are in relationships, people who are about to go into a relationship concerning this issue of temperament?
Well, at the end of the day, you want to understand yourself. Understand yourself and make sure that your partner understands you. Is very, very important. That the partner understands you and accepts you for who you are. Once that is done, every other thing is going to be easy for you. Now, when it comes to your in-laws, when it comes to they have certain expectation, you should let your partner handle that area. You shouldn't really be the one that's going to go there and say, Mommy, I'm sanguine, you're talking to your mother-in-law, I'm sanguine, so anything will just play, and the woman is melancholy, you let your partner be, that's wisdom. Let your partner say, Mommy, go there, I rebel. She's not like that, that kind of thing. There's that side. And then don't feel bad that I can't even be like my partner. No, there's a reason God brought you people together. There's a reason God said is both of you, So accept yourself, accept your partner, make sure your partner accepts you. God is going to bless and cover whatever is left. And then also understand that sometimes that's why I say that people should do this analysis over time, because after a while, I used to think I was sanguine growing up, and then I found out I was choleric. So you have to do the test online, many places online, accept so that you can accept yourself and move on.
In fact, I'm really blessed today.
Thank you.
And I'm sure my singles out there are really blessed as well, because you've really dealt thoroughly with this topic, and I know that they are able to understand, they know where they are right now, And I also want to add one thing that you said that is very, very important. Even though temperament helps you to know who you are, she said something very profound, and that is, don't use that as an excuse. If you discover that your partner, this is who you are, and your partner is not okay with that
certain
traits in you, please try and work on it. Don't start carrying that about like she said that this is who I am. I don't know how to talk, and that's how I talk. You just have to take it. No, that will not help your relationship at all. And if you know you are out there that you are the kind of person that desires to have a relationship that lasts long, and healthy relationship, a blossom relationship that you want it to lead to marriage, I think you need to check your temperament. And she said something to please go and Google on temperament. Know who you are and know who your partner that you are in that relationship with, so that will help you to choose the right tactics to communicate and to relate with one another. On this note, we have come to the end of today's reciting program. It's been great having you around. Thank you so much. Quickly, we want to go to our recommended book. Our recommended book is The Temperament God Gave You. The temperament, because if she said it's genetic, that means it's from God. So I want you to get a copy of this book, The Temperament God Gave You, by Art and Lauren Bennett. The Temperament God. In this book, it provides a guide for you to recognize how different temperaments are, but wonder what to do. If you want to know what you want to do about the kind of temperament, please get a copy of this. I want to thank the production crew for helping us to have a successful production today. Once again, Titu, I want to thank you for coming. God bless you. God will continue to increase your wisdom in Jesus' name. And I want to thank our viewers for watching. Please don't forget, whatever comments, whatever messages that you have on our previous or on the topic of today, you need to get more clarification. Please send in your comments and your messages on the WhatsApp number that is scrolling on your screen. That's how far we can go on today's episode. Join me again, same time, same station, on the same time, on another exciting episode of Before You Say I Do. Don't forget, on Before You Say I Do, we always help you to take and make the right decisions before saying I do. Bye.
I've never been so sure anything before, just like I'm in this moment. But once alone would be enough. Just take my hands and take mine, 'cause I will always love you through anything I'll do. To back on different segment, you know, for the engaging about marriage. Tope Oginni, you know. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about all you need to know before you say hi.